Chris is first up tonight.
All these years, I have been pretending to be blind. If only. Lee, would you read that for me, please?
Every night, I use an unusual technique to make sure I wake up on time in the morning.
Ooh. All right, David's team.
OK, so what is the unusual technique?
The usual way of making sure you wake up in the morning at the right time would be to set an alarm clock.
Yes.
Yes.
I've heard of that.
OK,
So, and you do something different. Well, we don't need to know what. I think we'll go true.
What I've done is I have trained my brain to wake itself up
No, you haven't.
at the right time.
By doing what?
When I'm lying in bed, I will bang out the time on the pillow with my head,
Right.
saying the hours for the time that I want to wake up.
Yeah.
And that subconsciously programs the time.
Chris,
Yes.
are you all right?
And how accurate is this?
50-50.
Where did this idea come to you from?
I read it in a book.
What was the name of the book?
The book was called Last Man Standing. It was a fictional book, David.
It was a fictional book from which you were taking lifestyle tips.
Well, do you know when you read something and it sticks in your head as an idea to try?
This may help you, David. Give us a demonstration, if you would, of the severity of the headbang. You're settling down at the end of the night.
OK, Lee, I'm going to turn around a bit and use you as a pillow.
All right.
Oh, so I'm in
Put
bed.
my arm there, yeah.
Oh, my pillow's firmer than that. So I want to get up at 7:30 in the morning, so I'm like, I go 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and if I want to get up at 7:30, I go 7:30.
Chris, I don't know whether you've got a partner or a wife or somebody who shares a bed
He used to have a
with
wife,
you.
he headbutted her to death.
Is there anybody else in the bed with you, Chris?
So I mean, I tour a lot.
So some nights yes, some nights no.
I tour a lot, I'm away a lot, but when I'm at home, I do have a wife. I mean, I have a wife all the time.
What are you thinking, David's team? Alex, what do you think?
Oh, it's so unbelievable. It's believable.
Yeah, and also I do think that if you tell yourself you need to wake up at a certain time, the chances of waking up then are higher than you'd think. It's not totally random.
Well, let's give it a go tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
You make it
realise we were
sound as
gonna-
if you're sharing a bed. So I think you're saying it's true.
Well, are we happy to say true? Yeah, I think we're going to go with true.
OK, Chris, they think you were telling the truth. Were you, or was it a lie?
Everyone will be trying it tonight. It's true.
Yes!
I was 40 before I realised that raisins are, in fact, grapes.
Please, team.
How old are you now?
52.
Right, how did you find out?
Well, somebody told me.
Oh, it's a hell of an anecdote. You got any more?
I was eating, like, you know, you can get a pack of, like, assorted...
Nuts and raisins.
Nuts, chocolate things.
Yeah.
And I was with my wife, and I said, what are raisins? What are they? It never occurred to me before. And then she told me they're grapes, and I didn't believe her.
So what did you think they were?
I thought they were raisins.
And you just thought that they grew like that?
There isn't a clue in the way there is with, say, sun-dried tomato.
Exactly.
What about gherkins? Do you know where gherkins come from?
They're cucumbers. Don't call me an idiot.
I mean...
What about currants, Charlie?
Currants, those are they're a grape too?
I think... No, I'll be honest with you, I'm only 90% sure. I think a currant is a grape as well, isn't it?
That's what I would say.
Oh, hang on a minute. Who's the idiot here? You hypocrite.
I'm loving this new guest where dried fruit came from section of this show. What about sultanas?
Sultanas, I know what they are. They're white grapes.
White grape?
Yeah.
So the currant could be a dried black currant, couldn't it be, maybe?
Well, how Hang on a minute, like,
possible.
literally you were all ganging up on me.
I wasn't. I backed you up. I said sun-dried tomatoes, it would have been obvious, but it's not obvious with a raisin.
And now it's a current affairs show.
What do you think, Hannah?
I think it's true. I think even very, very smart people can be a bit unobservant sometimes.
True.
And I think...
But what about Charlie?
Yes.
What do you think, Danny?
I think it's false.
You don't think it's true because...
Because you can't have waited that long to ask that question. When you say you were 40.
Well, when did you ask what they were?
When my son asked me, and I had to go and Google it.
OK, what's it going to be, Lee?
We'll say it's true.
Yeah, go on.
Go on, we'll say true.
OK, they're saying true. Charlie, truth or lie?
It is, true.
Yes! Well done.
I once dumped my hypnotist boyfriend when I brought him a surprise breakfast in bed, only for him to reveal he'd hypnotised me to do it.
David's team.
OK, I think we're going to go true.
When was this, Joe?
It was last week, Rob.
Really?
Well, it was when I was a student back in the 1850s. He was doing a show at our uni.
Did he have a stage name, Joe?
The Great Hypnotist, Rob.
It's good. It's good.
That was his stage name, the Great Hypnotist.
No, it wasn't.
No. OK, do you want to make something else up?
Duncan Wilson.
What was the breakfast, Joe?
It was kind of like mushrooms and black pudding, which I wouldn't go near in a million years.
And were you aware that you were doing this, or were you in a zombie-like trance? Were you walking around like this, or were you feeling everything was normal?
I think that's not hypnotism, that's being a mummy in Scooby-Doo.
You would have got away with it too if it wasn't for that pesky kid.
You had no memory of preparing the mushroom and black pudding breakfast?
No, I didn't, David.
Did you have any memory of purchasing the ingredients?
No, and that's because I didn't purchase them.
If someone's just tuned in, they'll think that David's doing an advert for Age Concern. So you have no recollection of buying the mushrooms, Joe?
OK, what's it going to be, truth or lie?
My worry about it is, aren't stage hypnotists... let me put this carefully. Charlatans.
I think there are stage hypnotists who can hypnotise people. I think that's a given.
It's important that some people should think that, or they'd have no audience at all. So, but I'm not convinced that a stage hypnotist could make someone cook a breakfast in a sort of trance.
It's a very good argument, but Joe's just so believable.
Well, what you have to do is separate the plausibility of the people from what they're asserting, because she literally read it off a card. So it's no reflection on her personal integrity, whether it's true or not.
Well, it is, if it's true. She had a one-night stand with a hypnotist.
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't slept with Duncan Whistle? We'll never know.
Yeah.
Maybe we have and we don't realise.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. What do you think, Guy?
I'm actually with Johnny. I believe it.
You believe it?
Oh, you have no grip on your team, do you? This is lovely to see.
It's anarchy.
It's mayhem over there. You're like Liz Truss, desperately trying to keep everything together.
What I'm precisely like is Theresa May, who voted against Brexit and then was happy to be the Prime Minister that pushed it through. She's like...
That's much better, yes. Very good. So, Joe, you've convinced them. They think it's true. Was it true or was it a lie?
It was a lie.
For one episode of The Traitors, I gave myself a fake tan using gravy granules.
Please, team.
Wow. OK, do you have a normal fake tan?
I didn't have it there because I was in the castle, so what I thought was, let's use something.
Was there a brand or a type of gravy?
I don't think I'm allowed to say a brand, but yeah,
Well, because you can't think of one. Was it early on in the record? Was it the first episode?
It was not the first episode. It was, I don't know, like Ep 5,
Oh,
round table.
Fine.
In you go. You know what I mean. You're wearing tweed. What do you need? Correct. Granules.
What about the first 4 episodes?
The first 4 episodes, it was quite sunny.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't sunny.
What did you do for the first 4 episodes?
This is very good. I had a spray.
Right.
Like, I don't know why you're, like, so obsessed with detail.
So this is the question.
It's so suffocating. Be cool, be cool. Go with the wind.
You know,
I went up. Traitors, gravy granules, move on.
If you're ever up for a crime, never talk like this in court.
Yeah.
Have you said where the gravy granules came from?
Yeah, a shop.
Oh, weren't you in the middle of nowhere, weren't you, up there?
Yes, but there are shops there.
Oh, this story's getting worse. So you realise you haven't got any stuff, and you go, someone rush out quickly and get me some. We'll get you the stuff you usually... No. Just for no reason whatsoever, don't rush out and get the stuff I usually use. Get gravy granules just on the off chance it's good. Surely that story works if you happen to have them on you.
Oh.
You're not going out for them.
Everyone stop speaking.
There you go. Look what you're doing now with your hair. Why didn't you just do that on the show instead?
What do you think, Jessica? Does this strike you as true?
Yes. I mean, whatever you think.
If this is true, I will never believe anything anyone says ever again.
What do you think, Mike? Is it true?
I'd love to believe it. I think it's probably untrue, though.
Makes it easy for you, Lee.
It's just all hinges on the one thing. You need to rush out, please, and get me some gravy granules, was the bit where it faltered. And everything else you said.
She's saying it's a lie?
100%.
OK, they quite conclusively think it's a lie. Was it a lie, or were you actually telling the truth?
It is true.
After a party at my house, I went down to breakfast to find Harry Redknapp asleep in our utility room.
Yeah, that's happened to me as well. Please tell me Harry was invited.
He was invited.
He was there the night before?
Yes, he was at the party, yes.
Right. And what was Harry sleeping on in your utility room?
So, we've got dogs.
What, sleeping on the dogs? That's outrageous.
So, we have dog baskets. Not those, like, hard dog baskets, but soft dog. He wasn't supposed to be sleeping there.
No.
He'd lost his way during the night. And the utility room is off the kitchen, which has got a bit of a snug in it. And so he maintained that he thought he'd gone back into the snug.
Right.
And he'd sat down. And they looked very inviting, the dog baskets, but, yeah.
And was he with Sandra?
He was with Sandra, of course he was with Sandra.
Were they sleeping together?
They had a room for the night.
In your house?
Yeah,
Sandra was in the cat box.
Yeah.
Was he still dressed in his party clothes?
No, he was in pyjamas.
How did Harry react when he saw you looking down at him?
He was like this, and he went, "Oh, I'm sorry, love." And he looked quite shocked.
Is he auditioning for Mary Poppins?
Where were the dogs?
They don't actually sleep in the utility, normally.
They sleep with Sandra, don't they?
And in winter-time, some of the floors are heated, so they go to heat it. We've got an Argus, so they
Now,
keep
that's
sleeping
true.
on the Argus.
Animals do go to
You managed to
heated
get in that you've got heated floors and an Argus in one sentence. And a utility room and a spare bedroom for guests. Luckily, Harry didn't fall into the swimming pool late at night.
What are you thinking, Zoo? Does this sound feasible to you?
It's not adding up to me. It's the spare room part that I can't imagine.
You can't believe I've got a spare bedroom?
No, I believe it. How many spare rooms do you have?
I'm not going to divulge that information to you.
Quite a few spare rooms,
It's like a hotel.
I think we're focusing on the wrong things. I don't think the number of bedrooms is relevant. I think what's relevant is whether he ended up in your...
Can I just say, you just said he like you forgot his name then. You have forgot his name, haven't you? Harry Redknapp.
Yes, him. He's, what, 70-something?
Yeah, he's in his mid-70s.
You like your bed when you're...
That's what I'm thinking. Oh,
He
no,
slept in the jungle for 3 weeks.
That's a very good point.
On a travel
Yes,
Yeah,
but
to be fair, though...
he got paid for
Yeah, he
that.
wasn't being paid...
All right, what are you going to say, Lee?
Zoo?
I don't believe it. I'm saying it's a lie.
Lie.
Well, then I'll go with these two and say it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie? OK. Gabby, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
It is a lie.
Thank you for believing in us.
I was once grounded when my parents saw a picture of me in the local paper doing something I shouldn't.
You were doing something you shouldn't?
Yeah, I had escaped.
Escaped from where?
I'd escaped from the house.
Were you... I mean, how dark is this story going to get?
How old were you when this happened, Shazia?
14.
And how did you escape?
I got some bed sheets and I knotted them together, threw them out the window, climbed down them, and I left the house.
Why?
I wanted to go out for the night, to a nightclub.
Oh, a nightclub. What time did you sneak out?
Oh, about 11 o'clock at night.
And what time did you get back in?
About 4 o'clock in the morning.
Bed sheets still hanging from window?
Yeah.
How many stories? I mean, I don't believe this one to start with, but how many... how many stories high were you?
3.
You had 3
3
floors
stories.
up?
What did you tie the bed sheets to?
To each other.
But...
Wow. You need something at the other end. What's the end tied to?
Oh, it was tied to the window.
OK, you go to this nightclub. Why is your picture ending up in the paper?
There were some famous people in there.
Oh, tell us.
Well, there was Joan Collins.
What?
Boy George.
Boy George, he's big, he's a big name.
UB40.
IB54.
So how did you end up in the photo? That's what we need to
Well, what
be clear
happened was when the nightclub ended about 4 o'clock, there was, like, no taxis and I didn't know how I was going to get home. So I asked Boy George...
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I asked Boy George if he would give me a piggy back home.
And did he say, do you really want to hurt me?
Where does the photo come in? What was in the photo?
Well, he said to me, oh, you look great. Let's have a picture together.
Right.
And what did your parents say when they saw the paper? How did they confront you?
They rang up the newspaper and they said, that's not my daughter.
Well, hang on. Hang on. But, wait a minute. First of all, before you get into that bit of mad information, how did it transpire in the next day? I want to know that bit. Were you still in bed when they got the paper?
Yes.
What time was this now?
Was it? It must have been an evening paper then.
Comes out about midday, I think. My dad gets the paper and he opens it up and there's a picture of me with Boy George. It had my name and he said...
Oh, you gave
had your name in it?
Yeah.
Your father rang the paper.
That's correct.
And there was a huge row.
He said, that's not my daughter. You've put a picture in the paper saying it's my daughter and it's not my daughter. And he said, yes, it is your daughter.
Well, how did he know on the other end of the phone?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it could be the dad of another Shazia Mirza who looks nothing like you.
But if he
says... there aren't that many Shazia Mirzas.
I know, but if he's rang up and said, that's not Shazia Mirza, the guy on the other end isn't immediately going to go, yes, it is.
No, but he said, there's a picture of this girl with the Boy George. You said it's Shazia Mirza. It's not my daughter.
OK, and what did the man say?
Yes, it is.
And how... and your dad said...
No, it's not.
But he must have recognised you from the picture.
Who, my dad?
Yes.
My dad says, like, there's no way it could be me because I'm asleep.
Yes, but he could see the picture. I mean, was he not good with faces?
Yeah, well, he thought that they had just got this photo of me from somewhere and just shoved it in the paper.
So how was it resolved, Shazia?
Well, it wasn't resolved.
How does your story end? Let me put it like that. I'm developing quite soon.
It did. Well, the thing was, it ended when my dad said, you're never going to be allowed out ever again.
Oh, whoa. So now he does think it's you?
No, he's saying this to the newspaper man. With this sort of irresponsible reporting, you're never allowed out of your house again.
Did he knock on your door?
Oh, yeah.
He comes in,
Yeah.
and then what was said next?
He said, look.
What was he wearing?
That's the newspaper.
Yeah, and he says...
And he goes, look at this.
Go on.
I know where you were last night.
Oh, I'm getting angry with this story now. What's the junction between that is not my daughter and why were you out last night?
The man at the paper...
He doesn't know you!
He convinced my dad that person was me.
More than your face! More than your actual face! A man on the phone who he has never met and he doesn't know who you are has met you once for a second on the back of Boy George. That was more important than your face in the photo.
The point is, he believed the man more than me.
All right. What do we think? Jeremy, what are you thinking?
I'm starting to have my doubts about this one. I know this sounds a crazy point of detail, but the idea that a newspaper could print the story within 3 hours of the nightclub closing...
Of everything she said, the time the newspaper comes out is the one... I mean, to me, that's fine. It's everything else.
It's just... It's the shit.
Yeah, Boy George, piggyback, Birmingham Nightclub.
Yeah, that's all fine.
Who was that? Oh, it's Joan Collins. Yeah. Man doesn't recognise his own daughter. No, What time's the paper come out? Midday, she's lying.
What about you, Amy? What do you think?
I think it's a lie, because it's hard to pick a bit that could be true.
You're saying it's a lie?
We'll say it's a lie.
Shazia, they're pretty convinced it's a lie. Was it a lie, or were you telling the truth?
I'm afraid it's the truth.
Right. After a wild party to celebrate our 2000th episode, I slept the night on the one-show sofa.
Please do.
Oh. When did the one show start? What year?
I don't know.
Oh. Are you like the Khmer Rouge? Nothing existed before you turned up.
Did anybody join you?
Oh, hello.
And slept there?
The sleeping bit.
Sue Pollard, I can't tell you that.
Nothing like that. No, I was just wondering if they wanted to keep you company in case you forgot to wake up for the next edition.
No, so I'll tell you what it is. I'm a bit out of practice. I was excellent at drinking before I had the children.
Right.
But since the children, I'm not as good.
Right.
So actually, I'd fallen asleep at the end of the party. Everybody was still milling around. They just put a blanket over me and left me there.
Paint a picture for us, Alex. Who else was there? I'm imagining it was a starry affair.
No. Well, you can't invite one guest without all of them. Can you imagine how many people would have been there, Rob?
Over 10.
There have been 2,000 episodes, and there's how many guests per episode?
Oh, well, 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
I mean, it varies.
So that's like 8,000 guests, of whom 1,500 are Giles Brandreth.
Yeah.
What time did you wake up the following day?
Oh, early. 6:37.
And, I mean, what went through your mind?
Oh, beside myself.
There was 2 of you there?
They'd taken my shoes off.
Some people, don't they? They employ staff. What about your PR or somebody like that would understand?
PA.
Yeah, PA.
I don't know. I haven't got a personal person. Have you got a personal person? You will have. I mean, you're a national treasure.
I've got 6, but they haven't lasted long.
Do you get through them? Why?
Yeah, I pay them too much.
I don't think your PA could ever be paid too much.
Well... Do you want to come outside? No, carry on. No, I just think it just seems a bit unfair, Alex.
What do you think, Chris? Does this smack of the truth for you?
I think there's a lot of truth in this. You're probably nodded off in the corner while Giles just continued with his stories.
It's always nice to have a little insight into these exclusive show business parties, and I'm wondering about in the heyday of Heidi High. I bet there are a few shenanigans and parties then.
Oh, yes. There were several wrong chalet entries.
What a very delicate way of expressing it.
Anyway, what do we think?
Well, I don't... What do you think?
Well, but I'm not being funny. This is really hard. Are you looking at my cherry?
No, I'm just thinking you're doing it... Oh, it's a cherry. Sorry, I thought you were doing an impression of Isaac Newton.
Oh, with the arrow. Who's got the arrow? Have you got it hidden away?
No, that was William Tell. Truth or a lie?
Yeah, go on then. I'll
What do
leave
you mean,
it to
go
you.
on then?
Oh,
So Chris thinks it's
Chris.
true.
I think it's true.
And Sue, you think it's...
I'm going to say it's true.
OK, well, my team think it's true.
All right. They think it's true. Alex falling asleep on the one-show sofa. True or a lie?
Oh, Rob, I'm better than that. Come on. It's a lie!